It's Thursday, February 9th. I'm GHK Lall on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Welcome to the National Outlook. Crime. I want to talk about it in general. Crime is on everybody's lips. The little people, the people in the street, the people who have to walk and go to the banks and shop and go to the markets, they're always looking over their shoulder and tense. You go into the supermarket and you're worried. Surveillance cameras and all, and security guards and all. It could be in the city, it could be in the outside of the city, in Region 4 and other regions. Seems that crime dogs our footsteps. Then there's white-collar crime, which we're not going to talk about today, where the people in big offices with big jobs and big names in this country, they are engaging in crimes of $1 billion nature. So crime is really super saturating. Saturating is like a thunderstorm. You get wet thoroughly. Crime is killing us, is wounding us, is frightening us. The police says that crime is down. Okay. So why do they take so long to answer their emergency lines? You check that out. Kaieteur Radio. Kaieteur had a robbery here in November, I think. Yes. And the people here were on the line with the police for a long, long time. I think close to over 20 minutes. Shouldn't be. Right here, you've got a station down the road, about 200 yards, and another one a couple of blocks away. Breakdown. But that was that. So the ordinary people now are forced to cope with these realities. It was a supermarket robbery. Two people, then their supermarket robberies. Just last week, a man and a woman selling, they got maybe a little stand. 3 men came out of a car, and a businessman, a licensed firearm holder, shot one. Looking at another section of the media, we read about this lawlessness where this one killed that one, somebody killed their grandmother, and men sentenced to death, men sentenced to long times imprisonment for piracy. And we've got this whole range of crimes. And I'm saying to myself, what is going on here? Are we so frustrated that we are taking out spite, malice, anger, rage on our fellow citizens? That we've lost restraint, we've lost regard for the law, we've lost discipline. And of course, when alcohol becomes a part of the mix, then there's no restraint. Everything is abandoned. All the inhibitions, all the discipline and training vanishes, even in the best of us, because now we have points to prove. But crime is really crippling us. If it's not crime, it's the perception of crime. If it's not the perception of crime, it's the fear. It's the fear of crime. What is going to happen? Who's next? Where is it going to happen? What is the police doing? All this money is being spent on crime reduction, and I think we've got some value for that. But where are we going with this? Are we making progress? The statistics say that we are, but are the statistics accurate? Are people reporting crimes? When people see that the government, that the politicians are helping themselves lavishly, that's the perception, through budget money, through infrastructure projects money, and the contractors and their cronies and their cabals are having a wonderful time. They're like, listen, what about me? Goat and bite me. I am going to go out on the street and I'm going to pay somebody some money to look the other way, and I'm going to do what I've got to do. I've got to eat too. I've got to eat too. I am not justifying crime at any time. Never will. Never can. But I'm saying I'm putting myself in the heads of those who engage in crimes that target you and I. Here, don't worry about the big boys. They have security. They have cameras. They have sensors and alarms. And they've got all kinds of protections. You and I have got to walk the street. Me and you have got to be out there. Market, supermarket, stores, town, country. That's our reality. And we can't get away from that. We should not be having this level of fear in this country about crime. When we open our newspapers, the government says it's sensationalism. Well, you've got to tell people what's going on out there. Is crime there? Yes, it is. Is it significant? Yes, it is. And that's concerning. We are going to be the hub of this and the center of this and the envy of the world. People are going to come here, and they are coming here. So what kind of security are we going to give to them? What kind of places are we going to have open for them to walk? Seawall, Starbrook Market, Border Market, streets of Georgetown? Or are we going to tell them by Ogle? Or are we going to shuttle all of them away from the depressed areas and the undeveloped areas? Look, I think we need a comprehensive package that puts people together, government, opposition, civil society, communities, and say, how do we work through this? Do we have a challenge? Don't worry what people like me say. Do we have a challenge? Do we have a problem? And if we do, is it at crisis proportion? And if it is, then what do we do? If it's not at crisis proportion, do we sit back or do we look to refine what we have? Do we have a clean police force? Do we have a clean judiciary? Do we have a clean governance apparatus? That's where things should be. Those are the hard questions we've got to ask ourselves instead of jumping around the bush and beating around the place. This is what we need to put on the table and to get out there and to be honest with ourselves if we are going to get answers. I'm GHK Lall on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. You were listening to the National Outlook.